How you doing, Aquarius? So, let's get right into this. See what you got going on with the Celtic Cross. Queen of Wands, first card out. Could have Aries within your chart. Ooh, that's what I like. You're standing within your power. Ooh, what? You're having strength, courage. Now, the Queen of Wands, she is very mysterious. She's very enticing. She's also psychic, and she's considered the witch of the queen tropes. With this black cat, she has psychic abilities, strength over mind. She is also one that works in the creative arts, painting, singing, sculpting. You know, they usually say the divine is a party to artistic gifts, right? Can be quite crafty. Someone who creates, someone who's dynamic, who creates things from nothing, and who stands within their own power. Five Pentacles in reverse. You are coming out of feeling rejected. You are coming out of feeling left out in the cold. You are starting to gain back an autonomy and strength. I'm moving on from past disappointments and a past ending to a situation, a family situation, or a shared family situation, or household, or could have even been a job loss, or, you know, someone who is having some money issues. You're possibly trying to come up with your own creative ideas and creative businesses using your own God-gifted talents by creating abundance and wealth for yourself. This is on the foundation of the King of Wands. The King of Wands, he's also the dynamic character. I feel like this could have been a marriage or a relationship or another fire sign, another Aries that you're dealing with. Perhaps you felt rejected by this King of Wands in the past, felt left out in the cold and abandoned by them. Perhaps they weren't focused on you in a certain way, or you felt disrespected by them or discarded. And you are getting over that heartbreak in the past. Four of Wands in reverse. In the past, there was an end to a family unit, a structure. This could have been a marriage or a relationship, or, you know, you could have been dealing with another fire sign. You felt rejected in some kind of way. And perhaps you've, in the past, it was due to instability. Four of Wands in reverse. A lack of stability within yourself, within your home. It could have been a shared home, or if it wasn't a shared home, then it could have been a shared relationship, something that you put time and energy into. Or perhaps you could have been getting out of, you were out of stability. And there could have been a divorce. An ending. If it wasn't a divorce, it was a breakup. And if it wasn't a breakup, it was a relationship. that you felt rejected by, and perhaps you were going through a really bad time when you met this King of Wands, or it wasn't a long-term relationship, and it was built on a very, not a very sturdy foundation. You know, perhaps it was like it started off as a lustful relationship. Ooh, I said that and look what fell out. My. And, you know, it didn't have a lot of time to, like, build a strong foundation with trust or getting to know each other. Perhaps it was rushed into, and perhaps they either ghosted you or left you in some kind of way. And there wasn't a lot of stability. And perhaps you've gotten caught up with this person because you were feeling unstable at the time as well. Okay, so, what's above you, your goals, your conscious awareness, the best that can be accomplished at present. Knight of Wands, protecting yourself. This is the wounded warrior. This is someone who was wounded in battle and who is trying to protect himself, his livelihood, and, you know, his life. You know, it was someone who was deeply wounded. You felt deeply wounded in general. Perhaps you had trust issues before because of the instability, but meeting this person and after this person, it just increased exponentially. Well, and if it wasn't from a, you know, and yeah, it increased dealing with this person. And now you're trying to protect yourself. You're guarding yourself from being further jerked around, you know, in the Nine of Wands. Now, perhaps you felt rejected by them in the past, and if they came back around, you rejected them in return. And now you're both defensive towards each other. You're definitely defensive towards this person. Because if somebody, like, kind of shows you what you mean to them by completely discarding you, you're not going to go ahead and, you know, feed a continuation of this issue, relationship, or situation. It just wouldn't make sense. Now, in the future, what's right ahead of you? Six of Pentacles. This could be a charity. This could be, you know, being charitable. This could also be giving to get. It's giving with some kind of intention. It's giving with some kind of intention to get something in return. And it's not just giving to giving. Perhaps in the future, this is giving to multiple people. Somebody wants to go ahead and give something to you or be generous with you now somehow, or perhaps this person wants to come back and be generous with you now. But he wants to offer you something, and whatever is offered, though, I would be careful because, you know, it looks like it could be a loaded offer, as in, like, you know, he or she is giving you something to get something in return with some kind of expectation of receiving something in return for whatever they give. How you see yourself, your personal strengths and weaknesses, an individual perspective of you. You could have been a third party or within this situation, or there was a third party. How you see yourself, your personal strength and weaknesses, an individual perspective of you. Three of Cups. This is celebration. This is enjoying your time with your loved ones. This is getting together with family, friends. You could be feeling very festive for the seasons, and whatever grief that you were feeling in the past, you're definitely getting over it, and you're putting up boundaries, you know, and protecting yourself from any toxicity or, you know, like uncommitted or people who give offers that, you know, it doesn't have much value within them. Somebody who wants to give something to you and be generous to you in the future. you see yourself as celebrating, enjoying your time with your family and loved ones, enjoying your time and possibly your own autonomy as well. And not only autonomy, just like, yeah, I guess so. After you left this person, yeah, you're enjoying your own independence. And if it's not independence, it's definitely reunions, getting together with family for the holidays. And weekends. But it's a very festive time for you. Empress, your environment, your home, your surroundings, family, friends, how people on the outside of yourself, how they see you is the Empress. They see you as wifey. They see you as someone who is very loving, nurturing, beautiful, someone who has everything. They see you as a divine counterpart, a divine partner. You guys are sharing the same kind of energy. Why did I say enemy? Energy. You guys are sharing the same kind of energy. And if this was a relationship, and I feel like this is a relationship kind of reading, like I feel like this King of Wands ghosted you in the past, and now you're defensive towards him, and he wants to come and give you something in the future. But you're kind of getting over the rejection. You're kind of over it right now, and you're just kind of enjoying your time and, you know, what you got. Maybe you even felt like you were a third party to this person. Like this person, like this King of Wands you were a third person to this someone. You felt like you weren't really a priority to this person. And, you know, like, if you're not going to waste a bunch of time being a non-priority to somebody. I mean, why are you going to waste and invest your time in somebody who doesn't even, like, think all that much of you? And, you know, and if it's not by, like, they had another partner, it could have been, like, there's always something in between you guys. There was, like, their work. You know, perhaps they were a workaholic, or perhaps, you know, they had a mother around and they would expect a lot of their time, or family around, they would expect a lot of their time, or friends around. There was always something else that was going on that kind of made you feel like a non-priority. And then so, you know, you share that kind of same attitude. And that same sentiment towards, you know, back at them. You're like, all right, fine. If I'm not a priority, then, you know, right back at you. You know, you're not a priority to me either. I'll move on. And that's when they want to come and give. They see you as the Empress, though. They see you as beautiful and abundant. They see you as someone like their divine counterpart. If they felt like they rejected you in the past, they are definitely regretful. And that's why they want to come and offer you something as well. Because, you know, perhaps they actually did really want you. And perhaps what they felt didn't coincide with what they showed. And I don't want to advertise the fact that, oh yeah, you know, those people that would, you know, when you're a kid and, you know, if you were a little girl and a boy would bully you in school, and, you know, the parent or teacher, if you're telling them, he was like, oh, well, they must like you. You know, it's that kind of idea that people have, and it gets kind of ingrained. You know, like, oh, like that's a normal way that people would treat somebody that they like in some kind of way. And then you would associate with that kind of behavior as, oh yeah, this person treats me like crap because they like me. And it could even go vice versa. Like a guy could have a girl like bully him when they're kids, and like, you know, she beats him up and stuff, and the parents like, oh, they may like you, you know. And I know it's not something that's like intentional to be like, oh yeah, that's the way you think, I want you to be confused and things like that. Like, you know, technically they may very well like you or they may not. But even if they like you, it shouldn't even really matter if they like you or not, because the fact of the matter is they treat you like crap, you know. And what does it matter where the intention comes from is why they do that. Because if they're still treating you like crap, and if it is out of supposed like or crush or love, then it's not really the kind of love that you would want anyway. It's like, oh, okay, so he supposedly loves me, so then they treat me like crap. Well, that's the kind of person that gives unhealthy love, that doesn't know how to love properly, who was never really loved properly themselves, and who doesn't even know how to express that. You know what I mean? So what does it matter what the intention is when it comes to being like, oh, the reason he or she treats you like crap is because they love you or like you? It doesn't really matter, because I mean, it's not really the kind of love that would make anyone happy, or you know, that anyone would, like, by definition, like, want. You know, like, oh, I want that kind of love, I want that partner that treats me like crap. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And you don't really want that either. And that's why you're defending yourself against it, because you know what? If he wants to treat you like, he or she wants to treat you like they're not interested, like they have better things to do, like, you know, they don't really care about you, then guess what? You're going to put your guard up, because you don't want to read between the lines when it comes to people. If they say something outright, you want to take their word for it. And like saying, oh, I'm not a relationship person, or I don't think, you know, you want to take, but you also want to read between the lines as well, you know. You also want to pay attention to not only what they say, but does what they say match up with what they do? And you don't want to assume people's intentions for things. You just want to see kind of like how the relationship is that you have with that person in a relationship to you, as in relation to you. How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel comfortable? Does that make you feel satisfied? And that would be that indicator to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I like this person, I want to spend more time with them, and then you would. But, you know, if they treat you like crap, if they're not interested, then you're going to take that at cost. Like, this person isn't interested. You know, this person has kind of an unhealthy love, kind of like, you know, somebody who feels one way but doesn't know how to express it, and who feels one way but expresses different actions with it. And that really tells you that somebody doesn't really know what they want. And even if they think that they know what they want, they wouldn't know how to properly express it. And if they don't know how to properly express it in adulthood, that's something that you can't really teach them, because if you're going to be responsible for teaching that, you're going to come up with a lot of headaches, and you're going to be explaining things like a mother or father does to their child, and be like, well, this is how you're supposed to do it. And should we really need to do that for adults? You know what I mean? You don't want to go with a partner expecting that you could get them to improve or change. You want to be with a partner who you know that could give you the kind of relationship, treatment, and mutual understanding that you would give them and that you would be satisfied with, right? And perhaps this person did really have deep feelings for you, and they did, but then they act like they weren't interested. So that's a huge misalignment from their words and actions. So this person is either confused or they have a really unhealthy love style. And either way, it doesn't sound like a good relationship or a good foundation to start in, because it wasn't. It wasn't a good foundation, right? So 4 of Wands in reverse, it's not a good foundation, because this person doesn't know what a good foundation that is. And unless they play a lot of games, which is like a fear of intimacy and things like that as well, then you're going to be coming up with a lot of issues due to self-confidence issues, or to trying to figure out what you want even after you get it. And people chasing only when they don't have it, and when they have it they're not sure that they want it. And that's what having somebody who is unsure, constantly unsure of what they want. And that's why their actions doesn't really align with their words, and either way, no matter what the case, no matter what the root, it doesn't sound like a really good and fulfilling relationship. Although they see you as like the bee's knees, you're the cat's meow, like you are like all of the above that they think that they would want and be happy with, they're still acting like a douche, and you felt rejected by this person, even though they had a deep feeling for you and they think all of this great things about you. But it's because they have self-confidence issues or trust issues, or maybe that you both do. And either way, this person doesn't have a healthy love language or style, and this person doesn't know what they want. Now, your hopes and fears, the devil. You could have Capricorn in your chart, or they could, or you fear that this is just a toxic connection, that this is like a dance between like, someone who love bombs and discards, someone who is an unhealthy person and style, somebody that try to ghost you possibly, and, try to build some kind of trauma bonding. And perhaps you've seen this kind of before, like, and that's what they do. Like, they value you, they love bomb you, they give you all this love and attention, but then they devalue you, and then they discard you. And then, usually when you're getting discarded like that, it's so quick and unexpected that it builds some kind of trauma. And the trauma and the ruminating on the confusion of how someone could just like do that out of the blue, and how you didn't expect it, and how this kind of felt like the rug pulls out from under you. You fear that it's because this person is an unhealthy person with an unhealthy situation, and they were trying to play some kind of mind games with you. And I feel like they were. Whether it was intentional or due to self-confidence issues and fear of abandonment, things like that, should it really matter where the root is if the result is the same? Because like, it's like, I don't know, let me think of a good description, but I don't think for me, I don't think it really should matter what the root is if the results are the same. As the results was you getting rejected and having to heal from it and move on from it. Now, the outcome, what you will gain from this experience, the reward, the quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough. Knight of Cups. Somebody wants to give you an offer. I feel like this King of Wands wants to come back in and give you some kind of offer. Sorry for ghosting you or rejecting you. Sorry for, whatever, or hey, let's be friends, let's talk, long time no see, let's catch up, whatever, It's someone who wants to give out some kind of small gesture, some kind of offer, apologies, or like, let's be friends, let's get to know each other. I feel like this King of Wands wants to come back in and give you some kind of offer, some kind of tangible offer, some kind of gift, possibly for ghosting you in the past. But you see this as toxic because they have a toxic style of relating. Why would you hope for the devil though? Perhaps you've been through this kind of cycle with different people as well. Perhaps this is the kind of person that you would usually get involved with. Somebody who does have these kind of like ghosting tendencies or issues. Somebody that would draw this kind of response or trauma that would, and it's really, it's either them having self-confidence issues or them trying to make you constantly think about them so they just could come back whatever, you know, willy-nilly whenever they want to, with a better chance of them, like, you know, getting a more planned reaction that, oh, you would be so happy to see them because, you know, they popped out of your life before, and which means that without closing a door, so then they could come back and sneak in that, you know, that open door whenever they come back around, and they won't have to offer any kind of explanation. And it's not, I don't even think that you really want an explanation anymore. Like, it doesn't really matter to you because you don't feel like you're a priority to this person. You feel like you were a third party to this person, and no matter in what regard that was, whether they were in a different relationship or there was just always something that was more important, that you weren't a priority. And yeah, be damned if you want to go ahead and waste your time with people who don't treat you as a priority. They want to come back in, offer you something, but they're defensive. Now you're defensive towards each other because maybe they tried to send you a bullshit text message and you ignored it. And now you were both defensive towards each other because it's like, oh, well, my ghosting didn't work. Why doesn't she want to talk to me? Oh man, I screwed up because my little Jedi mind trick or games that I try to play doesn't exactly work. And now I'm worried. Because this person wants to come in and give you another Knight offer. Now, the Knight of Cups, they're kind of young. They kind of can be immature. It can be somebody, you know, who, you know, they're sweet, you know, but they don't exactly, they're not king status, you know. They're, in the end, although they do run with romance and, you know, passion and stuff like that, they don't really have a lot of resiliency and, you know, staying around power, you know, because they're immature. You know, they're young, they're inexperienced in some kind of way, and, you know, whether that be by expressing themselves and their emotions in like in a truthful manner or even in a healthy manner. And you kind of want to put a rest to this. And I feel like if they did try to reach out to you, you blocked them. And if they didn't as of yet, they will. And I feel like you want to walk away from this and offer your cup towards somebody else because they ghosted you in the past. And I feel like they put you on ice. They put you on the shelf, and that's why you feel rejected, and that's why you're protecting yourself from them, and that's why you're ready to move away towards something new, because it's like a waste of time. There's no stability here. It's all about just, you know, like, you don't really want a knight. You want a king, you know, and a queen. And look at you. You're the Queen of Wands, and you're the Empress. Yeah, they're the King of Wands, like, but they're showing up as a Knight of Cups. And you are kind of like matching them in that regard. Like, nah, you know, you're right, I'm on the fence. I'm not really interested. So I'm going to move on, you know, because yeah, it was nice to think about. It's nice to be light and everything and airy, but you know, I'm not going to stay grounded into this situation and deal with it, because now there wasn't a lot of loyalty. You know, it was a lack of loyalty, a lack of resiliency, a lack of staying power. And you're the freaking Queen of Wands, you know. They see you as the Empress, and because possibly you stood up for yourself and you demand more. Now, somebody wants to send you a message about the past instability, about why there was no stability or proper foundation. They want to talk about the past, why they ghosted, or why they kind of, you know, acted in a certain way, which resulted in you feeling rejected or discarded. Advice? And they want to work their way towards you. And you're working your way away from the situation. You're working your way out of this rejection, this feeling of being rejected. And you are ready to leave this entire situation behind. You're probably even thinking, oh my God, why are we still talking about this? I left this fool behind. I blocked this fool, blah, blah, blah. Like, why? But it seems like they're thinking about you because they're coming up in your reading. Now, they're definitely going to try their way coming. You know, I feel like they're going to make their way back towards you. Be ready for them to offer something. It could be a loaded offer, though. There's a lack of regeneration from this situation. It's kind of like on its side. It's not that it is totally without possibility, like upside down, a lack of, but it's not like there is a possibility completely on its head, like, oh yeah, there's a chance that it would still live and bring itself back from this death, but it's on its side. You're like, maybe this person is they're thinking is like, is this even possible? Even if I do offer something, like, would there even be a chance? And you're like, oh God, just kind of go away, you know. Because you're trying to rejuvenate from this. You're trying to rest. You don't want to deal with any kind of like manipulative or high drama people that would confuse you. And you know, like, God, like dealing with this person, it made you feel freaking exhausted, you know. And you feel drained having to deal with this person, because even if they're feeling like some kind of mental or emotional unrest, you kind of feel that. And even if they're not like in your like immediate environment, if you have some kind of energetic cord to them, you're gonna feel it. If they're thinking on you and, you know, like trying to, you know, consciously or unconsciously manifest you back, or just thinking on you, then you're gonna feel that too. Now, there's a lack of rejuvenation due to fears, anxieties, addiction. You know, this person could have some kind of addictions. You know, addicted to attention, addicted to work, addicted to video games, addicted to distraction, sex, porn, I don't know. It could be anything, drugs, alcohol, it could be anything. It's a codependency. This person, there's some kind of toxicity to this, and you feel that because of the way that they behave and interact. And you kind of stopped asking yourself why that is, because you kind of have a feeling as to why that is, because they're kind of, they have an unhealthy love language. And Like I said, it doesn't matter what the root, the result is all the same. It's you feeling rejected and unfulfilled. So if they don't know how the proper way to love as an adult, then, it doesn't seem like a very fulfilling position to be in, to be the adult trying to teach another adult, like what you feel that they should already know and give you in order for you to feel like fulfilled. Now, somebody, perhaps you even thought about why in the past that they reacted the way they did. Perhaps they are unsure as to why that you cut them off, even though they were totally like unavailable or ghosted you, or now they're wondering, well, what did I do? Or, like blah, blah, blah. I only just just bounced and, ghosted them and came back around and or, didn't act interested. Whoa, why? I don't know why. Really? Maybe you should know why. And, there is a lack of going within in the issue. And it's like maybe you obsessed a little bit about why, but now you're not really interested, Instead of looking on the outside environment and the outside people and the outside relationships, it's better to go within. And this is what I feel that you kind of did, because that's why you're coming out of the cold. That's why you became the Queen of Wands, because you decided to look within and you decided to get to know yourself a little bit better, find out your own intentions, find out your own dreams, what directions that you want. And so that really pulled you out of this whole idea as to why. It's like, oh, well, that's fine. You want to go. You want to ghost? That's fine. Go ahead and ghost. Like, I'm not going to sit around asking why, because, I got other things that I'm dealing with. I got other things that I'm learning about myself now. And when you learn about yourself, when you learn about your own calling, when you're listening to spirit, you have less, this toxic attachments as you did, because you have an understanding that in the end that you're never really alone, and because you have spirit, and when you know that you have a strong sense of your connection to the divine, no matter what name that it is that you would consider that for you, then you're never really alone, and you would have less need to have this codependency. And I feel like there is an evolution to this. An evolution to a need for toxic attachments and toxic addictions, because maybe in the past you were used to this. Maybe in the past you kind of liked the chase, even if you didn't like to admit it, because in the way that it was kind of safe for you, as in oh, well, they're resistant to my love and they don't want to give me my love, so I'm going to go out and seek that love. And maybe in the past that you did have a kind of a pattern of that, but you came into a spiritual understanding that, hey, it's not the person, it was kind of the behavior that kind of led me down to this obsession and this need to be connected towards this person who rejected me, because now instead of looking on the outside, well, what did I do? What was it about me that they didn't like? What could I improve on? Blah, blah, blah. It became okay, well, who am I? What is my life entail? What is my destiny? And, if this doesn't give me what I want, what is it that I really want? And it actually was set up in a way that, that you did meet these kind of people in order for you to go within yourself. And when you go within yourself and you learn about yourself, that's how you get closer to the divine and, your own inner light and spirit. You know, like just like that Carl Jung quote, you know, those who look on the outside dreams, and those who looks within awakens. And I feel like a lot of these kind of relationships and dynamics of being rejected and feeling left out in the cold and feeling abandoned was kind of like a catalyst into bringing yourself back to yourself and having to look within and ask the deeper questions. And why is it that usually when you come up with certain patterns and dynamics within relationships, and it's like the same dynamic and it's the same energy with the same face, with a different face and different environments, and you know, but it's the same kind of dynamic, it's usually an indication that universe is trying to make you aware of something. Like, how do you show up and your relationships, and what allowances and compromises that you make in order to make them feel like it's acceptable for them to treat you like that. Do you leave the door open when people discard and leave you in order for them to come back in? Or do you tend to spend a little too much time with a certain kind of person who has a certain kind of attitude or selfishness and expect in a way that you could convert them in a way? Because, you know, they say that we usually seek out the kind of people that we were raised by, our parents, that we would unconsciously seek out the parental figure that, or that same type of energy that the parental figure that we have that we feel neglected by. And we kind of play out an unconscious, like a sick unconscious like pattern and cycle as a way to gain some kind of understanding as to what happened with us and unconsciously change the outcome as to what happened to us. That, hey, if this kind of same energy, like my, you know, absentee parent, or, you know, emotionally cold or abusive parent, if I seek out that same kind of energy, and it's not even on a conscious level, it's totally unconscious, then if I could get this person to love me, then it would kind of give me back my self-worth, that I was lovable, that it wasn't me and I wasn't the reason as to why my parent treated me the way that I did, because I was able to get the same kind of energy to love me, you know. And I know this sounds crazy on a conscious level, but if you find yourself in relationships that kind of run in a cyclic situation, and it is a kind of like same energy in a different face, and but a different environment and different situations that it jumps, then it's something to look out for. Because, you know, like, you can't hide from yourself. And usually, you know, if you move from different place to place, you know, you end up finding out that, you know, it's not exactly the place that kind of created the dynamics that I was in. It was myself and how I showed up to it. But in the end, you don't really have to ask yourself why that person is the way that they are. You just have to ask yourself why it is that you keep on finding people like this, or getting involved in people like this, and what is it that you have to learn in order to kind of take yourself out of this kind of karmic ass cycle, you know? Because in the end, like I said, it doesn't matter what the root is of what makes them act in an incongruent way, with like a huge polarity between thoughts and actions, and words and actions. If the outcome is the same, it shouldn't really matter, because in the end, it still affects you the same, you know? But that's what I got for your Aqua. I don't know if that was all that helpful, but hopefully it was. And if it did resonate, feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment below. It really helps the algorithm and to help get the word out of my channel. And feel free to donate below. I'll leave the donation box below if you feel moved to do so. If not, I still love you lots, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.